The darkest moments in TV history, number 7. Lights off of this, because you know how these get. I ain't gonna lie.
I'm not a doctor. She has been knocked down.
Is she the one that speaks English or the other one?
Yes. Right. The other one, she's the...
Without a single word spoken, Ursula dashed into the middle of oncoming traffic.
What? Why? What? Is there a reasoning? They trying to test if they superhuman or
In
something?
just seconds, this completely...
I'm genuinely confused. Why are they doing this?
...the car, as evidenced by the damage to the vehicle itself. But like Ursula...
So how the f*** did the vehicle get more damage than the girl? Bro, what the f*** are these twins made out of, man? Genuinely.
I love you, Jay.
The darkest moments in TV history, number 7. Lights off of this, because you know how these shits get. I ain't gonna lie. Lights off of this, you know how these videos get. Am my light bright? Why my light look so dim? Hold on, I'm about to plug the ring light into this real quick. Because I think it's what it's plugged into. It looks dim like this, bro. Hold on. Oh. Can you see me?
25.
No pauses.
A group of teenagers...
We gotta work on a lot of shit tonight. No pauses. No pauses. No pauses. I got a lot of off-stream shit I gotta work on. A lot of niggas scared. Scary ass nigga. Nigga trying to not get nightmares. I feel it though.
On the 29th of June, 2025, a group of teenagers ventured into the Miriam River in Bacabal, Brazil, for a quick morning swim. But after several minutes in the water, the group started to realize that one of its members,
35, man.
13-year-old Raisa, was no longer beside them.
Oh,
and after
shit.
calling out her name and searching the surrounding area, the realization set in. Raisa had disappeared. It was now likely
See? That's one main reason why you will never catch me swimming. Actually, I'm lying. That you will never really catch me swimming in the ocean or the river like that alone. Or with like a couple more people. You feel me? And it's abandoned. It has to be on some like island shit where it's mad niggas in the ocean. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? On some... If I do anything at a beach or anything like that, nigga, I'm going... So you see where that black shit is? Say for example, where my camera is the start. You know when you first start to get in the water. This is the start of the water. I'm going that deep. I don't give a damn if I'm at the beach. I'm never goddamn going into the deep end of no ocean, no river, no nothing. I'm sorry.
Raisa was no longer beside them. And after calling out her name and searching the surrounding area, the realization set in. Raisa had disappeared. It was now likely somewhere in that murky water around them.
Hell no.
The news sent shockwaves throughout the community, and straight away locals filled the area to help find this girl. But their attempts were all futile. And with each passing moment, it grew more and more likely that Raisa had tragically drowned, with the search efforts shifting to recovery efforts the next morning.
That's sad, bro.
The tragedy led to various news stations arriving.
And I can swim. Me personally, I can swim. But I still be scared to do shit like even just swimming like deep ass shit where it has no ending, bro. I'm sorry, I can't do it, bro. I be scared. I gotta touch the ground eventually.
To help document the search, and for one reporter, Lenildo Frazao, he couldn't help but view Raisa's story as a cautionary tale. The Miriam
Anywhere
River
where it
is
gets too
particularly
deep where I
unassuming
cannot
from
touch the
surface,
ground at
which is
all,
exactly
bro.
what made
Hell
it so
no.
dangerous, since it carried with it
no.
an unexpectedly strong current and a bottom that was littered with sudden drop-offs. As even in shallow sections, one step could plunge you into deep water without warning. As a result, tragedies like this had sadly happened here before, and for Lenildo, this was the perfect time to highlight the river's dangers, in the hope of preventing one from ever happening again. And he had a unique idea to help achieve this. Rather than just explaining how dangerous the river was, Lenildo wanted to demonstrate it, and so he began to take off his shoes and his pants before entering the water.
He wanted to demonstrate how dangerous it was, so he tried it out himself. My man, if you wasn't getting paid quadruple for that, I don't know what the hell you were trying to do. I don't know what type of moment you were trying to go for, but nigga, if it Arfrip even said it was dangerous, why are you testing it to see? Just to show an example of how dangerous it is. That's like you saying, oh yeah, let me hop in front of a bloodthirsty goddamn pit bull that's on some Cujo shit, and let me test y'all how dangerous this dog can really get. And you start slapping it or kicking it. And you want him to bite you, just so you can show, oh yeah, he real dangerous. Nigga, what? Now you fucked up in the damn hospital and you goddamn can't move or walk for a good 7 to 8 months.
Foi justamente aqui,
the fuck? Nigga, why are you...
Yeah, to help achieve this. Rather than just explaining how dangerous the river was, Lenildo wanted to demonstrate it.
Like, why? That don't make sense!
So he began to take off his shoes and his pants before entering the water, with his microphone in his hand.
foi justamente aqui, pessoal. Nós vamos entrar agora na água aqui
We're
para
going to get
mostrar
in
para
the water and
vocês
show you the
o
place.
local.
Look, we can already
Olha, a
see
gente já
that
vê
here
que
the
aqui
water
a
is
água
very
é
strong.
muito forte, ó. E vai descendo.
It goes down.
Vixe, Maria,
Oh my
vai
gosh.
descendo aqui, viu?
Come down here.
Ó.
Look.
The camera rolled as he waded into the river, at first going just to the depths of his knees, before the riverbed began to drop beneath him, sending the water all the way up to his
You
chest.
can't be getting
Então,
paid as much
pessoal,
to do this,
e
my
ainda tem
man.
a correnteza. Aqui já, olha, ó, passinho para frente, a água já tá praticamente.
And all while
Somebody
this
grab
happened,
his leg
he
and he
spoke to the
finna
viewers
he
at
finna
home
go
about
down.
how unsafe this area could be, especially for unattended children who weren't strong swimmers. But even with most of his body now submerged, he wanted to take it even further in order to prove his point. And so he continued wading towards the center of the river, right in the direction of the noticeably fast-moving current, until suddenly...
Olha, dei pouquinho aqui, ó. A água já tá acima do meu peito, para você ver a situação. Se eu andar um pouquinho aqui, deixa eu ver aqui. Ó, vou andar mais. Ó a fundura aqui, ó. Ui.
Lenildu physically recoiled and let out a loud yell. He stood there for a moment, anxiously glaring into the water, before telling his crew,
Yeah, this is what you wanted to
"I think
test,
there's
bro?
something down here underwater." Whatever
that
he
lock
had touched
notes.
in those murky depths didn't seem natural, with Lenildu describing it as being soft. And quickly, he made his way back to the shore, where he further explained why he was so shaken by the ordeal, admitting that what he stepped on felt like an arm.
Hell no.
This is the exact moment that
So is
many
that where
believe
the
Raisa
girl-
was found, as just moments later, several locals would retrace Lenildu's steps and discover the 13-year-old's body in the same exact location.
Oh.
Raisa had died from an accidental drowning, as she wasn't a strong swimmer, and had likely fallen into the deep water where she was held down by the current. The exact conditions that Lenildu had been warning the viewers about, when he unknowingly stepped on her corpse. With the
that's-
entire ordeal culminating into what can only be described
That's crazy.
as one of the
That's
darkest
fucking
moments in television history.
That's fucking crazy. Hell no. Hell no, bro.
Individually, they're just like you and me. But together, they are a source of endless fascination.
And we'll conduct a rigorous scientific experiment into twin telepathy.
Into twin telepathy.
Take care out on the street.
What's going on, Devin?
Use your head and then your feet.
It was a peculiar sight. As traffic flowed through one of the UK's busiest roadways, the M6, CCTV cameras captured two women walking down the narrow median, with a vehicle speeding past them on either side. These women were Sabina and Ursula Eriksson, 40-year-old identical twin sisters who grew up in Sweden,
going on, man?
with Ursula eventually moving to the US, and Sabina to Ireland. Just one day before this footage was taken, on May 16, 2008, Ursula had made the long flight to visit Sabina at her home in Dublin. But things got off to a troubling start when Sabina got into a verbal altercation with her husband and the father of her two kids, prompting both sisters to leave the house
I
in
do
the middle
too.
of the
All
night
my shits
without
keep
telling
fucking up.
anyone. The next morning, the sisters emerged in the city of
All my
Liverpool,
legs keep
where they
popping
visited
off.
a police station and reported that Sabina's kids were in danger and were unsafe in her husband's care. Law enforcement briefly looked into the matter, but ultimately they didn't seem all too concerned with the children's well-being, and rather they seemed more troubled by the women themselves. Their behavior was just somewhat off, so much so that shortly after leaving the station, they were kicked off a public bus for exhibiting erratic behavior, which some passengers found threatening. And after the altercation, this erratic behavior continued, as for unknown reasons, the pair began walking towards the
I'm gonna play it
M6,
today.
and then eventually right onto it, where we see them now.
I'm about to finish it.
It defied any sort of logic, and put them in an extremely dangerous position, a position where one wrong move could lead to a horrific accident. And sure enough, that's exactly what would happen, though it was anything but accidental.
What do you mean?
Without warning, both women turned and then ran directly into the road, and for Sabina, directly into a car traveling in the fast lane.
What the fuck?
Immediately, local police were inundated with urgent calls about the ordeal, leading to a group of officers being dispatched to the scene. And coincidentally, the same group just so happened to have a camera crew following them as part of the show Motorway Cops. The show follows traffic officers as they handle their many daily encounters, ranging from mundane traffic infractions all the way to devastating tragedies. And this segment seemed destined for the latter.
Lane 3 is obviously the fastest lane in the motorway. Anyone being hit, you're expecting serious injury, if not life-threatening.
Despite the officers fearing the worst, however,
I gotta find
when
a
they
good
arrived
one.
on the scene, they were met with a surprising sight. Standing there before them was Ursula and Sabina, who, despite being struck by a car at high speeds, appeared completely unharmed. In fact,
did they
both
run on the
sisters
road,
were
though?
entirely calm, as they were shown casually speaking amongst themselves as if nothing ever happened. It was a miracle.
Huh?
And as the officers began trying to piece together the cause of this whole ordeal, everyone at the scene began to breathe a collective sigh of relief. There was no way that any of them could have known that their roles had just been cast in one of the most disturbing television scenes of all time.
Right, what we've got is they were in the central res. They were trying to cross the Bravo, so as we approached, they hadn't seen us, Mother. The red one's got knocked down by the red car over there. I've got an ambulance en route for her.
Right.
She seems all right, but I'm not a doctor. She has been knocked down.
Is
by
she
a
the one
car.
that speaks English or the other one?
Yes.
Right.
The other one, she's done.
Without a
What
single
the
word
fuck?
being spoken, Ursula dashed into the middle of oncoming traffic and directly into the path of a massive truck traveling at over 60 miles per hour. It happened in a literal instant. There was hardly any chance to react, and before anyone could even begin to process what they had just witnessed, Sabina would also run into the road, not after her sister, but rather straight into the path of an oncoming Volkswagen.
The other one, she's gonna run.
Oh no! Mike Alpha, we need ambulance, senior officers to the scene, we've got two...
What? Why? What? I don't want. I'm still. What? Is there a reasoning?
possible fatals.
They trying to test if they superhuman
In
or
just
something?
seconds, this
I'm
completely
genuinely confused. Why are they doing this? Why?
calm scene had turned to utter chaos.
They had. Didn't they show mugshots of them at the beginning of this? So I'm pretty sure they're good. But why though?
And both women were now lying on the pavement. Miraculously, they both were still alive. Sabina was stable but knocked unconscious, while Ursula was in rough shape. Her legs had been pulverized by the truck, with paramedics describing them as looking as if they had exploded. And while she lay there on the pavement, she was wide awake and experiencing everything. Within seconds of receiving medical attention, Ursula began to cry out. But strangely, it wasn't in pain. Rather, she was yelling at the paramedics, cursing, and even attacking them for trying to help her.
Calm down.
Fucking asshole.
Calm down.
Bitch! What the fuck? Alright, see, I don't understand that, bro. I really don't understand. See, listen. What's up with these twins? Who the fuck are these twins? Why the fuck are they doing that shit? What the fuck? We trying to save your fucking life. And you over here playing Crossy Road and shit. And you goddamn cursing me out? I'm trying to save you, motherfucker. What's going on, Key? This nigga Barney. I forgot you did lose your mind, Barney, because of that bullshit. I'm like, this nigga name look a little bland. What happened?
Mine's very aggressive, spitting at me.
Shouting things like, "I recognize you. I know you're not real."
Come on, you've hit your head. Calm down. We are the police. We are the police.
It was clear that she was suffering from some sort of delusion, but while officers had their hands full trying to subdue her,
This
things were
nigga,
about to
dog.
get even more hectic as Sabina started to regain consciousness.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
She had been brutally struck by a car, as evidenced by the damage to the vehicle itself. But like Ursula,
Nigga, so how the fuck did the vehicle get more damage than the girl? Bro, what the fuck are these twins made out of, my nigga? Genuinely. They can't be real.
been brutally struck by a car.
They gotta be
as
the first
evidenced by
AIs.
the damage to the vehicle itself.
There's no possible
But
way.
like
They gotta be the
Ursula,
first
she
Tesla
also
bots or
appeared
something.
almost entirely unfazed.
On some Detroit Become
as she
Human
stood
shit.
up and began to
There's no
scream for her
possible way
sister.
they genuinely real, my nigga.
They're going to steal your organs. One of the officers tried to hold her back, but Sabina resisted.
Stay still.
Oscar Tango 33.
Eventually shoving the woman to the ground, before once again taking off into oncoming traffic.
No! Stay!
What is the fucking motive, bro? What are they trying to do, my nigga? Genuinely, what are they trying to accomplish here? What are they trying to gain from this shit?
Stay there. Calm down, calm down, calm down.
Thankfully, this time the cars managed to avoid her, but it would take 6 officers to finally restrain her, and even with that many people, it was still a struggle, as her strength was unlike anything that they had seen in a woman her size.
Oh yeah, no, these are the first Tesla bots, bro. They gotta be. She gotta be one of them, or something. I don't know what the fuck is going on. How the fuck is she getting hit by 5 cars, my nigga, and still standing strong and still running into more? The fuck? Nigga, they can't be real. I refuse to believe they real.
It was still a struggle, as her strength was unlike anything
Detroit
that
Become Human gotta be based off of these people.
And with Sabina now subdued, the chaos was finally over. In the following moments, Ursula was airlifted to a local hospital where she underwent an extensive, yet successful emergency surgery, while Sabina was shockingly found to have no injuries, which allowed her to be discharged into police custody after just 5 hours, where she was promptly arrested and sentenced to 1 day in prison for assaulting an officer, as well as trespassing on the motorway.
She need Arkham Asylum, nah, nigga.
One question burned at the forefront.
And it's crazy, she don't even need Arkham Asylum for trying to hurt other niggas. She trying to hurt herself, but she's just not doing it. It's weird.
Everyone's minds. Why had the Erickson twins done this? Well, the immediate theory was that this was all the result of drug use. But surprisingly, when given toxicology tests, no drugs or alcohol would be found in either of their systems. They were entirely sober during this ordeal, which left only one plausible theory, that this was all the result of some sort of mental breakdown, with both women somehow experiencing its effects at the same time. Today, this case is used as one of the most glaring examples of a psychological disorder known as folie à deux, in which one person suffering from delusions transmits said delusions onto a different person, leading to both people experiencing the same misconstrued version of reality. And while this is only a theory, it's clear that regardless of the how or why, these women were extremely mentally unwell during this event. In fact, during the TV program, an officer even mentioned that this could be a 136.
Yeah, she under arrest at the moment.
More than that, my nigga.
Well, 136 if she is.
Which is a code that allows law enforcement to hold people on account of their mental health, to assure that they're safe to return to the public.
You can apply the box on Aiden Raw's brand promotion shit? How the hell do you apply to that? I say hit him again. Bro, what the fuck? Bro, they just gonna get back up, bro. I'm trying to tell you, they the first Tesla bots. They gotta be, bro. She made out of steel, my nigga. Cause she can have a mental illness. The twins can have a mental illness. But the fact that they're getting hit by multiple cars and not getting hurt whatsoever, not getting hurt at all, they're fucking the car more than the actual, you know what I'm saying? Than them, than their self up. I'm trying to tell you, Detroit Become Human was based off of them. It has to be, bro. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But back to the Aiden Ross thing. Damn, I didn't even know. That should have signed up. I didn't even know that shit was a sign up. I thought you genuinely had to, you feel me? I mean, I kind of had a feeling because it was kind of like, you know, I'm pretty sure Aiden doesn't personally know every single last one of them niggas that boxed on that motherfucker.
People on account of their mental health,
you know what I'm saying?
To assure that they're safe to return to the public. But shockingly, not only did this never happen, but Sabina was released without ever being given a mental health assessment. In fact, she was never so much as looked over by a mental health professional.
Hold on.
Well, my first year, I played in. Man,
what the hell? I forgot about that video, bruh. What the hell?
Was instead, in fact, she was never so much as looked over by a mental health professional, and was instead released the very next day after the incident.
Hold on, let me
move
my Discord over
when
here.
She was released, she was given no information about Ursula's whereabouts or her condition, or even resources to help find her way home, leaving Sabina still mentally unwell, and now stranded in an unfamiliar city, not knowing what happened to her sister. And sadly,
yeah, I got you,
delusions were far from over.
Are you on PlayStation?
As she left the police station
I
on
want
the
a new
19th
build,
of
though.
May, Sabina had nowhere to go, and so she began to wander, carrying her belongings in the same evidence bag that the police had given her earlier that day. Eventually, she would happen across two men walking their dogs, and as she stopped to pet them, Sabina asked the owners where the nearest hotel was. But seemingly recognizing that the woman wasn't well, one of the men, Glenn Hollenshed, offered to have her stay at his place.
You fucked up, Glenn. I ain't gonna lie, you done fucked up. You gonna wake up in the middle of the night and she gonna damn try to jump off the roof or some shit. And she gonna land.
Sabina asked the owners where the nearest
and she gonna try it again.
But seemingly recognizing that the woman wasn't well,
Glenn,
one of the men,
up.
Glenn Hollenshed, offered to have her stay at his place. To which Sabina happily obliged. But once inside Hollenshed's home, Sabina began acting extremely paranoid, checking the windows constantly and believing that her cigarettes had been poisoned. Despite
I
this,
also put 5 on
Holinshed
it.
was patient,
Since.
and he helped her make calls around the area.
Because I don't know what the hell you got yet, son.
While making sure that Sabina was eating and drinking. The following day, Holinshed was preparing dinner for Sabina when he stepped out of the house.
Nigga pop out with a 96 overall, goddamn.
Just minutes after returning home with the bag.
That 96 overall, 3-point slashing, playmaking dominator or some shit. You know the names on this shit.
And screamed, "She stabbed me."
Oh, fuck no.
As he collapsed to the ground.
Glenn, I mean, that's your fault, Glenn. You know who the hell you just brought into your house? That's your fault. Glenn? Glenward?
The following day, Holinshed was preparing dinner for Sabina when he stepped out of the house to ask his neighbor for tea. But just minutes after returning home with the bags, he would once again step out of the house. Only this time, he was completely covered in blood as he stumbled and screamed.
Crazy, bro. Fuck no.
"She stabbed me." As he collapsed to the ground, the
alright,
neighbor
bet.
rushed over to try and help,
I'm gonna accept it
but
later,
the damage
alright?
was already done. Holinshed would let out one final soft whisper, saying,
I gotta get through these reacts.
"Look after my dog for me," before breathing his final breath.
Look after my
For
dog.
unknown reasons, in that house, Sabina had stabbed Glenn Holinshed, and by the time law enforcement arrived, she was long
She
gone.
just stabbed this nigga with a Bowie knife. And the last thing this nigga gonna say to the lady is, look after my dog for me? Like, you didn't just bring the crazy lady into your fucking house? You should have just left her in Arkham Asylum,
Having
my
fled
nigga?
the house with a hammer in her hand, which she used to strike her head repeatedly as she mumbled incoherently and walked down the sidewalk. Eventually, a man passing by tried to intervene, but Sabina immediately attacked, brandishing a roof tile that she had hidden in her pocket and using it to strike him on the head, nearly knocking him unconscious.
Bro, who is keeping this lady free,
It would
bro?
take several minutes for police to finally catch up with her, but just like the day prior, she took off, leading to a chase that ended with Sabina being surrounded on a 40-foot tall bridge that passed over a highway, and recognizing that there was nowhere left for her to go, she jumped.
What the fuck?
Somehow,
she's
Sabina
alive.
would cheat death once again.
What the fuck? Alright, listen, I'm not saying that because I want nobody to, you feel me, die in this shit, obviously. But I'm saying, like, there's something about this lady's not human, genuinely, my nigga. Something about this lady's not genuinely human, bro. I'm trying to tell you, bro. She's not. She's not, my nigga. She one of the robots that was in a Will Smith movie. She gotta be.
Sabina would cheat death once again.
Something's
Despite
not
suffering
right.
2 broken ankles and a skull fracture, she was alive. And after a lengthy recovery,
That's
she
what
was
I'm
put on
trying to
trial
say.
for the murder of Glenn Holinshed, where she would never give a single comment as to why she did what she did,
Nigga, she doesn't
leaving
need
her motive
prisoner.
a total mystery to this day. Though it seems clear that it was at least
needs
partially a result
everything
of her
else but
delusions,
that, my nigga.
with the
She
defense
can't be
pointing
nowhere
to
near
Folie
niggas.
Adieu as a potential explanation.
She gonna
And
find
in the
out to
end,
escape
it was
anything.
deemed that Sabina was not mentally fit to make decisions at the time of the slaying.
At all.
And
Y'all should have been
ultimately, she
figured
was
that
given
out.
a prison sentence of just 5 years. This is truly
So
one of
y'all
the
giving
most
her that
disturbing
instead of Arkham
TV
Asylum.
cases of all time. And for as shocking as it is on its own, what I find most chilling is the fact that these officers mentioned holding her for a psychiatric evaluation, which ultimately never happened.
She's under arrest, baby.
Well, 136 if she is.
It was a massive oversight. In
Y'all
fact,
niggas
it was
giving
so
her 5
glaring that the
years
police
instead of
department
Arkham Asylum, my
allegedly
nigga.
contacted the show and asked them to
damn
remove
sense.
this entire section. As if they had just followed through with that code 136, Sabina would have been held for longer than just one night, which meant that she not only may have been given the help she needed,
This bitch
but she
need
also
everything,
never
bro.
would have had the chance to meet Glenn Holinshed.
Besides
or
being
Kate
around
Day.
niggas.
Since her release from prison in 2011, Sabina promptly disappeared from the public eye, and neither she nor Ursula has ever been heard from again.
Oh, fuck.
Meaning we have no idea whatever happened to the Erickson twins.
They just simply tend to be making the
Fuck
same
no.
decisions at the same time.
Hell no.
They're thinking in the same way.
Hell no. Super talent. The next one happening on
It's
America's
December
Got Talent.
2021. A couple receives a warm welcome as they walk onto the stage, ready to compete in the Croatian television show Super Talent, the country's version of America's Got Talent. But it's clear this excitement from the crowd wasn't shared by the show's host, who turned to someone standing behind the camera and flashed the unmistakable look of concern.
Man, what the hell?
In the minutes prior, the audience at home was introduced to the pair, 34-year-old singer Roman Bernata, and his wife, 44-year-old violinist Bianca Kolompar, along with their child, who would be watching on as the two shared their musical talents with the world.
Okay.
In their day-to-day lives, Roman was a professional goalkeeper for a local soccer team, while Bianca
Go,
was
go,
a
go, 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 go!
a doctorate in music. And while on paper this all seems fairly normal, it was immediately clear to those watching that this couple was anything but. The two frequently went on long-winded and bizarre rants, with Bianca opening up about her breast enlargement surgery.
They did look pretty big. I wasn't gonna be the nigga to say nothing though when I saw him. But still, I'm just saying.
And the two discussing at length their belief in a living God who walked the earth.
Bazooka bullet titties. God damn.
But it was their performance itself that proved to be the strangest part of their time on the show.
Dobro večer.
Vi se mene ne sjećate, jel da?
Ja?
Ne.
Don't you remember me?
Puno godina.
Aha, ja se nas sjećam kad sam snimala
škola, jel ide Hardo, ide? Je, ja se ispričavam, ali stvarno moram vas to pitati.
Roman's introduction was fairly uncomfortable, as he made mention of a time that he had met one of the judges years before, who clearly had no recollection of the encounter, which seemed to frustrate him, as his demeanor quickly became hostile.
Ko je vaš talent? S čim ste se došli
Ja nemam nikakav talent.
Pa šta ste onda došli?
Radit.
Ali potpuno nebitno, emisija se zove Super talent,
ja
kolegica...
Ja volim, nemojte mi zamijeniti.
Alo, polako, mislim da ipak ćemo mi ovdje voditi riječ.
Može, pa...
Leading to Roman receiving his first X before he even sang a single note.
Ako je kolegica pitala koji je vaš talent, a naša emisija se zove Super talent, a vi tvrdite da nemate talent, onda vas ja pitam pošto ste došli.
Radit. Okej, hvala, može.
It was a rough start for the couple, and by the time they did get to perform, things only got worse.
So you still got the singing? So what was that whole thing he was talking about then?
And now, the end is near, and so I face the final curtain.
If he still got the singing, what was the whole point of his speech? What was he trying to say? What was he trying to get off?
Admittedly, the couple didn't sound awful, but it was clear the judges were frustrated by Roman's demeanor, prompting all four of them to hit their X, signaling the end of the couple's performance. Or at least they thought.
Meh. Okay, I mean,
the two just kept on performing,
shit,
playing over the sound of
his
the
ass
judges
off,
shouting
though.
their name.
Can he be mad at it?
Silence from the crowd.
Can he be mad at it? You know?
With the two going until a producer finally had to step in from behind the camera and officially cut them off. But even then, the couple continued their antics, this time by protesting the judge's decision, with Bianca even threatening to go to the newspaper and expose their behavior to the press, all while
like
Roman stood angrily to the
my
side,
nigga.
glaring at the panel before him.
Genuinely.
And with that, Roman and Bianca's time on Super Talent was over, and they not only walked away without receiving the grand prize, but they also left with shattered reputations, as this segment became notorious among fans of Super Talent, with the couple being considered one of the most unusual acts to ever feature on the show. But despite its virality, this performance isn't what Roman is most widely remembered for today.
So they already knew something about this nigga. The fuck? Alright, bro, see, that's not what I fucking expected.
2022, residents in Rijeka, Croatia,
bro!
with the sight of a fully nude man wandering the city streets. It was Roman Bruno.
Bro, why are you zooming?
They stared on in amusement, laughing to themselves and snapping photos. What they were witnessing was actually one of the most disturbing events the city had ever seen.
I'm thinking they about to say, oh yeah, the nigga killed somebody. Oh yeah, the nigga threw somebody off a damn bridge. Oh yeah, this nigga goddamn did this, that, and the third. That nigga was known for going around town and goddamn choke slamming niggas in the street for no damn reason. Oh yeah, this nigga known for robbing niggas. Oh yeah, this nigga known for goddamn pantsing niggas in public and goddamn shooting their balls off or some shit. This nigga known for walking around the streets naked. Butt ass naked. Like, you thinking like this nigga like some crazy or some shit. Crazy or some shit. That's still a crazy move, my nigga, but he a nudist. Nah, he didn't kill his wife. That nigga's on some whole other shit. Whole other shit.
After his disastrous performance just 1 year prior, Roman continued to pursue a career in singing, taking every opportunity he could to share his music with the world, often joining Bianca on her YouTube channel, and singing on the streets for tips, where he actually made a decent amount of money. Though because of his notorious television moment, he would often be harassed and even have the money he earned stolen from him. One day, while performing outside of a local soup kitchen, he was introduced to a woman named Darnika Krevich, a 67-year-old who relied on the soup kitchen for consistent meals. And after hearing Roman sing, she became a legitimate fan of his music, leading to the two striking up a friendship.
Quan TV could have made $1 just like this today. You feel me? Quan TV could have easily made that $1. That's all I'm damn saying. See? Quan TV could have easily made that quick $1 today.
Hearing Roman
if you
sing,
really wanted
she became a legitimate fan of his music, leading to the two striking up a friendship.
It just take one.
And despite Darnika not having much, she offered to take Roman to a local coffee shop on February 6th, 2022, where she treated him to a warm cup of tea.
It just take
on a
one
cold winter day.
one little good song.
And so the two
and
sat
one
inside
person
a
that
restaurant
supports
called
it.
the Cafe Pin, with everything seeming completely normal, until a server noticed that Roman started to look almost sickly, like he could barely keep himself upright, as his body was starting to slump over the table, his eyes barely open. The server rushed over to help, but Roman recoiled and shouted, "Just try calling the police on me." And so, not wanting to escalate things, the server left, only returning later to drop off the check, which is when Roman's behavior took an even more drastic turn. He began feeling around his pants pocket for his wallet, before looking desperately around the table, but there was no sign of it. And so he grabbed Darnika's bag and rifled through it, before yelling, "You snake, you whore, where's my wallet?" Though when he still couldn't find it in Darnika's bag, his anger turned to violence as he stood up and rushed Darnika, grabbing her by the head and shaking her, screaming in her face, accusing her of being a thief. This time, multiple people inside the cafe rushed over to hold him back, but Roman was too strong, too angry, and with seemingly no effort.
So is everybody in this episode an Arkham Asylum patient?
Completely unfazed by their attempts. In that moment, no one could have stopped Roman. Darnika was entirely helpless, and so the crowd inside the cafe watched as Roman grabbed her by the neck and dragged her behind the bar, and then proceeded to kick, then stomp, and then jump directly on her over and over again, each time landing on her head. It was a rage so demented that he actually began—
So he did kill his wife. But why was the nigga walking around naked? That's the main thing I'm still concerned about. You know what?
And to smile, a wide manic grin,
Ain't none of my
as he
business.
jumped and chanted, "Whore,
R.I.P.
witch, die."
R.I.P. bro.
After what felt like an eternity, Roman stopped, before sprinting out of the restaurant, leaving Darnika entirely unrecognizable and dead on the floor. The same floor—
Oh, that wasn't even his wife. That was the lady that supported the music, right? Or some shit? That's so fucked. That's fucked up.
Leaving
You get your first fan and you gonna
Darnika
kill him?
entirely unrecognizable and dead on the floor. The same floor where, just feet away, Roman's wallet lay, having innocently fallen out of his pocket shortly before. Outside, Roman removed his blood-soaked clothes and walked completely naked into the city center, much to the amusement of the passerbys who had no idea what he had just done, until eventually he made his way into a nearby police station and blankly stated, "I am not well."
Come on, bro. We know, nigga, you're butt-ass naked in the police
This sentiment
station.
was true in so many regards. Roman hadn't been well for quite a long time.
No shit!
At a young age, it's believed he had dealt with undiagnosed schizophrenia that had led to uncontrollable anger issues, before developing an alcohol and substance abuse problem that only exacerbated his symptoms. And by the time he was an adult, Roman became so delusional that he believed he was a disciple sent from God to touch the world with his music, something that he eventually convinced Bianca of as well. So in their Super Talent episode, when Bianca mentioned their love for a living God that walked the earth, she was likely referencing Roman.
Ali ja osjetim, stvarno imam taj kontakt sa živim Bogom I mislim da je Bog svugdje oko nas, da je Bog osoba, energija, istovremeno, da.
Roman was severely unwell, and no one in his life was keeping him in check. In fact, those closest with him were only feeding his delusions, with all of his issues coming to a head on the day of the incident. And when he realized his wallet was gone, Roman rushed to assume that Darnika was the one who robbed him, perhaps as a result of having his money stolen frequently on the streets. But the sad reality was, in a sea of people trying to exploit and mock Roman, Darnika was one of the few who actually truly cared about him and legitimately believed in his talents.
That's so fucked
and yet
up,
he
bro.
killed her in one of the most evil ways imaginable, all over a simple
That's so
misunderstanding
fucked
that
up,
was
bro.
entirely his fault. In the end, Roman Bernardo was deemed unfit to stand trial and was never sentenced to serve any jail time, instead being given a 40-year sentence in a mental
gave him
health
Arkham
facility,
Asylum.
where he's since been described as a model patient, with his good behavior awarding him the opportunity to leave the facility for days at a time for therapeutic purposes.
Nature is king here.
Hey,
Man
man.
can only watch and be humble.
What's going on, Roger?
There's your imagination.
I feel bad for that nigga's son though, bruh. That's why I mainly be feeling bad for when them type of niggas be having kids, and that's the type of people that they gotta grow up around, bro, and they gotta grow up as their influence, my nigga. Sad, man.
Nature is king here. Man can only watch and be humble.
There's nothing out there. It's your imagination.
Exactly. She was feeling this nigga. You know she not any better. She was feeling that nigga. I feel bad for the son, bro. That's fucked up.
It was the start of yet another adventure for the crew of the television show Gardener's World. This British program has been on the air since the 1960s and provides viewers with tips on how to maintain their garden while showing off a variety of unique plant life, which often brought them to remote areas of the globe. This particular episode was filmed on February 5th, 2020 in the Drakensberg mountain range of Lesotho, Africa, with the host, Nick Bailey, making the long journey to track down one specific flower.
One species which grows wild.
I'd never fucking watch this.
It's been a real favourite
Nigga.
with British gardeners for generations. It's the gladiolus.
This
Nigga, most of my
flower
people
was
weren't even damn
affiliated
alive
with
watching
many
this
of the
shit.
show's viewers,
The fuck?
as it was quite popular
Boy?
in the UK. But in this region, there existed a unique
Nigga,
species that
bro.
had only been seen a handful of times
See.
in the last century, since it only grew in one particular valley in this one particular mountain range.
Niggas act like
It
we not
seems
part of the same generation. Bro, I literally graduated like 3 years ago, bro.
Specific name is the
What are we talking about?
Microcarpus, and there were two people who knew it better than
Niggas
anyone
turned
else.
21 and now off rip they
Rod and
goddamn
Rachel
old as
Saunders
hell.
were well-renowned botanists who
Made
studied
no
the world
damn
of South
sense.
African flowers in depth, with
So
their
what does that make a
favorite being the
30-year-old?
gladioli.
Ancient?
As they would spend days and even months on
You
end
niggas,
roaming
man.
areas
Oh my
just
gosh,
like this
you
to
niggas.
learn everything they could about them, making them the perfect duo to help with the show.
Why gladioli? There's so many different plant species in South Africa you could have picked.
I think their beauty. Some of them are so exquisitely beautiful.
So,
you
yeah,
actually
you're
want to
old.
sit down and cry when you see them.
But even with their vast knowledge of this region, there was always an element of
Now I'm damn old. Because I literally graduated past the 2020s. The fuck? Bro, we haven't even been in the 2020s for a full 5 years yet.
Down and cry when you see them.
But even with their vast knowledge of this region,
yo,
there was always an element
it's hump
of
day.
danger when traversing it.
I got 35% off on
Its
the
climate
cuts.
is often volatile, and conditions are known to turn on a dime, making safely navigating this area extremely difficult to downright impossible. This was apparent even on the day of filming, as a dense fog had rolled in, and given the steep and rocky landscape, one wrong step could spell disaster. This didn't stop the crew from carrying onward though, as Rod and Rachel were relentless in their pursuit. They would do anything to find these flowers, and sure enough...
Hold on, homie. Hold on, homie. Now, that's not what I advise. Hey. Now, if you start streaming, I advise you start streaming as you're in school, and if you say, for example, you start taking off and getting like, you get the speed method rolling, you start hitting 1 million subscribers or 1 million followers every single day on the platform that you're on, then I don't advise dropping it. I advise doing it online, motherfucker. You feel me? But hold on, son. Hey, I do not advise that
The segment ended
whatsoever.
as they did exactly that.
Tanker's mother, we do not advise that over here. We're great influences. Don't worry.
We've come
We're
about
great
4
influences.
times looking for this plant, and this is the best I've ever seen it. It is.
I influence the community to be the best that they can.
With that, Rod
Facts.
and Rachel's time on Gardener's World was over, but their
Hashtag
journey through this
gazer,
area
gazer.
certainly wasn't. As the cameras cut, the crew made their way back to their makeshift base camp miles away, where they said their goodbyes, with Nick Bailey capturing a photo with a beloved couple and sharing it onto Twitter before parting ways, leaving the couple behind. As rather than returning to their home in Cape Town, this was actually just the start of what would be a multi-month expedition into this region, with the Nogoi Forest Reserve being their final destination. Along with being botanists, the couple were also avid seed collectors, and had started a business which shipped the seeds they had found to other plant lovers around the world. And while here,
I
they
got
made it
rich
their
as hell
mission to
off that.
find some of these ultra-rare
smart.
gladioli seeds. And sure enough, on February 8th, 2020, Rod and Rachel sent a text to one of their employees at the seed mailing business, which contained a photo of the exact flower they were looking for. But despite this text seeming like a sign of more good things to come, the reality was far more bleak, as this text would ultimately be the last the couple would ever send. Out of nowhere, communication with Rod and Rachel had stopped entirely, and for days no one heard anything from the duo, prompting that same employee they had sent the image to report them as missing on the 10th of February. It was a devastating turn of events, but one that was always a possibility. Poor weather, a wrong turn, an injury, anything could have derailed their expedition, as again, this area was notoriously dangerous, with it seeming all but certain that they had fallen victim to the unpredictable fury of Mother Nature, though this belief would quickly shift, thanks to the discovery of the couple's car. It was found by authorities abandoned by the edge of the Tugela River, and had been emptied of virtually everything inside. However, there was something left behind. As in the trunk, authorities would find a massive pool of blood. Blood that belonged to Rachel. Just days after filming, Rod and Rachel were making their way towards the Nagoy Forest Reserve, growing more and more excited by the discoveries they were making, oblivious to the fact that in the woods around them, they were being watched, hunted even, and not by an animal, but rather by a man. His name was Saifandine Aslan.
That's why I can't do shit like camping wise. Like, listen, I was thinking about it, bro. I ain't gonna lie. And yeah, catch leektewofficial ass in the damn mountains one stream looking for a damn special yam. Motherfucker, I ain't damn do no damn stream in the damn forest, especially no damn shit. Hell no. I was thinking about doing a camping stream one day too. That's the thing. But staying out there though, nigga, I gotta know where I'm at. I gotta know what forest I'm in. I gotta be a forest where it's like, okay, there's nothing around here at all. Like, you know what I'm trying to say? I'll be damned I run into a damn bear, a goddamn, you feel me? Anything like that, bro. Hell to the hell no. I will be damned. Do a cabin stream with LSQ. I am. That's the thing. I'm supposed to do some cabin shit this winter. If we could all link up and do some shit, that'll be fire. I ain't gonna lie. That would be fire. But I know my IRLs are trying to set it up. That's the only difference. You know what I'm saying? But you always still know who it is. Drew and all of them. You feel me? Y'all know who they are. But the thing is, though, I want to do it with LSQ, but we all have to link up and find a spot where we can do it. We all have to link up and find another spot. I went to a cabin in Tennessee, and that shit was amazing. Bro. I don't know where we should do it at. Low-key, we were trying to do it around, like, areas where we could snowboard, so we can do all of that shit, too. I ain't gonna lie. But we gonna see, though. We gonna see, because we're gonna do it in the wintertime, so it's gonna be, like, real cold for that shit.
By a man. His name was Saifandine Aslan.
I say LSQ.
A local of the
out
area
to,
that the couple was
what's that
traversing.
place that always snows? That everybody goes to for snowboarding? Damn, my brain just had a complete, like, just clearance. Everything just went out of my mind. Colorado, yeah, there we go.
And on February 9th, he allegedly sent a text to his wife, Bibi Patel, telling her that he had found a good target, and that he was now in pursuit, with said target being Rod and Rachel.
I want to go out there, bro.
Later that night, the couple made
Just
their
for
camp
that,
and
though.
began to drift off in their tent, while Del Vecchio allegedly watched on. And once
I
he
don't know
was
what else to
certain
do
that
out
they had
there, though.
fallen asleep, he made his move, approaching the tent, then tearing it open, and then standing above the couple. In the following moments, Rod and Rachel would be brutally bludgeoned to death before they could even react, as they lay helplessly, still inside their sleeping bags.
I wonder if they got shit in Alaska.
Text messages indicate that Del Vecchio then enlisted the
I
help
watched
of his
one
wife,
video on
Bibi,
Alaska, and
as well
that
as
was
his
from
friend
Pootie.
Musa Jackson, to help
I actually
discard
need
the
to watch an
bodies,
actual good
using the
video on
couple's
Alaska,
own
bro. I
car to
ain't gonna lie.
transport them to the
But I
one
really don't
place
know.
they were certain
They got a
would
nigga called
find.
Alaska Red. He an underground rapper.
The Tugela
Hey.
River.
I don't
As
know
there was
anything
something
else,
about
though.
this stretch of water that they believed would make these bodies impossible to find.
I heard snow and LSQ in the same sentence. Count me out. So your ass can't swim. Your ass can't snowboard. Your ass can't do damn, you feel me? But you can play some damn basketball. We got the typical black guy over here, huh? Hey. I mean, we don't gotta go when it's snowing, though. That's the difference. We don't have to do it when it's snowing. But I was gonna do something like a cabin shit when it's cold outside, like around the winter time.
About this
we could do it anytime.
Stretch of water that they believed would make these bodies impossible to find. Crocodiles.
Nigga living up to the damn stereotype.
So they pulled up to the banks of the river as the crocodiles quietly watched on from a distance and dumped the bodies of Rod and Rachel into the water, where they were immediately devoured.
What's next, son? You don't like roller coasters? You
They
scared
thought it was
heights?
the perfect plan. However, it thankfully failed to work as well as they had hoped, as in the following weeks, fishermen would have.
I'm all around. I'm an all around player, Bill, my fucker.
As they were in such bad shape that it would take nearly 2 full months for them to be identified.
I ain't gonna lie, I'm low-key nice as hell at snowboarding, though. I'm low-key nice as hell. I know I'm supposed to be paying attention to this Rod and Rachel thing. I apologize. But, bro, I ain't gonna lie. I'm low-key nice as hell when it comes to damn snowboarding. I'm trying to tell y'all niggas. I am. I'm low-key nice as a motherfucker. I'm trying to tell niggas. That, I know there's something else. Bro, I'm trying to tell you, if I do Winter Olympics, that's one thing I got in my bag. Easily. I want to do that. That's one of my ideas. Winter Olympics. Winter Olympics. Most definitely. I want to do that shit.
River as the crocodiles quietly watched on from a distance.
Yeah. RP Rachel, bro.
And dumped the bodies of Rod and Rachel into the water, where they were immediately devoured. They thought it was the perfect plan. However, it thankfully failed to work as well as they had hoped. As in the following
Quan TV and Shots might not do that because they don't like to touch the damn water. They don't even like to shower. So they're not gonna like to touch the damn water, man. I ain't gonna lie, bro. They ain't gonna do American Ninja Warrior, bro. Because you know in American Ninja Warrior, if you fall in the water. It's like Wipeout. You fall in the water.
The water, where they were immediately devoured. They thought it was the perfect plan. However, it thankfully failed to work as well as they had hoped, as in the following weeks, fishermen would happen upon both of the corpses, or at least what remained of them, as they were in such bad shape that it would take nearly 2 full months for them to be identified.
Alright, bet.
As for why this attack happened, we still don't fully know, as the trial is still ongoing, with Delvicchio proclaiming his innocence, which is why everything is alleged at the moment. But the evidence is damning. Messages.
Is that his attorney? All ski
Which is why everything is alleged at the moment. But the evidence is damning. Messages on Delvicchio's phone paint a clear picture that he was responsible for this, with his motive appearing to be religious differences between him and the Saunders, as well as money. As after the slayings, large sums of money were withdrawn from the couple's bank accounts, along with lavish purchases being made on their credit cards, with one of the receipts from the shopping spree being found inside of Bibi's purse. The evidence
back
is
to what I was saying. I cannot do no damn cabin shit, or I said cabin shit. I cannot do no like camping shit where it's like I'm just out in the open like that with a camp, with a damn tent, and all. I can't do that. And the forest is just around me. I walk outside and see nothing but just fat 145-foot trees around me, bro.
Just impossible to deny.
I don't know who's out. I
But
don't
while
know
we wait
what's
for
looking at me.
justice to be
Who's out there? I don't know
served,
anything
it's important
like
to
that.
refocus on those
It's
who
one
won't
main
be
reason
here
why
to
I
see it
can't.
happen. Rod and Rachel truly did nothing wrong. They were 2 incredibly wholesome people who were just trying to find and connect with the flower that they loved so dearly. And while their interview days before their death is an undeniably dark television moment, it also serves as an incredible tribute, as one of the last things they ever did in their lives was share their love and passion for gladioli with the world, the flower that they ultimately gave their lives to find.
Quite a trek to get here, and what an incredible treat to see such a special plant in such a
I would be the
niche
most genuine
environment.
people to me in these videos, bro. I always go out sad, bro.
It's nice to be here.
The fuck the lollipop gonna do? RP Rachel though. RP her husband, man, because that shit bad, bro. Good video though, Nick.